Some people don't believe they're talented until somebody gives them a trophy. They can spend years doing the work, getting better, helping people, surviving rejection, and showing up when nobody's watching, and still feels like none of it counts because no official person has called their name. Phife Dawg from the 90s hip hop group A Tribe Called Quest gave us a sentence sharp enough to cut through that lie. I'll never let a statue tell me how nice I am. Welcome to Articulated Illustration, where we see things from unusual angles. I'm your host, Dwane Richardson Sr. This podcast is sponsored by me. But if you want to invest in purpose and build something together, let's make it happen. Now, before we get into today's episode, I want to give some context to the line that inspired it. I never let a statue tell me how nice I am. It comes from Phife Dawg's verse, A Tribe Called Quest award tour from their 1993 album, Midnight Marauders. And when Phife talks about that statue, he's talking about a Grammy. A trophy does not define his talent, his value, or the success and impact of A Tribe Called Quest. And that's really the foundation of today's episode. Recognition can acknowledge your value. Today's unusual angle is simple. The award is not the source, it's only a receipt. Now, a receipt may verify that a transaction happened, but it did not create the value that was exchanged. Now, that line from Phife is our doorway today, and not because everybody listening is a rapper, but because almost everybody knows what it feels like to wait for something outside of them to confirm what took years of work and what years of work has already proven. Now, maybe your statue isn't made of gold. Maybe it's a promotion, a degree, a paycheck, a title, or maybe even a certain number of views. And you keep telling yourself, when that happens, I would know that I'm capable. But if recognition has the power to make you believe in yourself, its absence has the power to make you doubt yourself. And today, my illustrators, we're talking about how to receive applause without becoming dependent on it, and how to know who you are before anybody builds a statue.
Word of the day.
Contingent means something dependent on something else in order to be true. And that's where external validation turns dangerous, when your own belief in your own value becomes contingent on somebody else recognizing it. And there's nothing wrong with enjoying a compliment, pursuing excellence, or even accepting a award. But the problem starts when recognition stops being confirmation and starts becoming permission. Permission to call yourself gifted, permission to speak with confidence, and permission to believe those quiet years counted. Your identity was never supposed to be contingent on somebody finally noticing you. Most people aren't recognized the moment they became capable. Recognition arrives after the repetition, the mistakes, and sometimes after years of excellent work with no applause at all, what we would call the dark room. Now, the public sees the plaque, but they never see the practice. Invisible does not mean insignificant. Uncelebrated does not mean unqualified. And unrewarded does not mean that you are not worthy enough. The statue comes after the story. The diploma comes after the study. And the symbol is downstream from the substance. And yet, we keep standing at the end of the river, begging the symbol to explain the source. Now, statue can commemorate greatness, but it cannot make it. Snoop Dogg has 16 Grammy nominations and 0 wins. But the Recording Academy still names him among rap's legends regardless. For Snoop, the trophy never showed up. But my illustrators, the influence never needed it to. And that's where Phife Words leaves his life and enters ours. What evidence of your ability are you dismissing simply because the recognition hasn't caught up with it yet?
Here is today's articulated illustration.
Here's what we usually miss. External validation feels free the first time it arrives. Somebody praises you and your energy rises. A post performs well and your confidence expands. But if you borrow your confidence from the crowd can change the interest rate. Yesterday, 100 likes made you feel successful. Tomorrow, 100 feels embarrassing because the last post got 8,000. The applause that once encouraged you, the minimal payment to keep your identity out of default. And that's why it is so addictive. It doesn't just feel good, it temporarily answers questions you haven't learned to answer for yourself, such as, am I enough? Was the work worth it? Do I belong here? Every time the world answers these questions for you, you become less practiced at answering them yourself. And the goal isn't to become so hardened that compliments mean nothing. The goal is to enjoy recognition without needing it to breathe. And my illustrators, I want you to focus on what I'm about to say next. Always remember, if somebody or something has the ability to feed you, it has the same ability to starve you. Here are two ways to keep your own receipts. Number one, build a private evidence file. Don't wait for a ceremony to remember what you have survived and accomplished. Keep evidence, the promises you kept, the skills you developed along the way, the days when you showed up tired, mad, frustrating, hurting, and the character that you maintained when nobody was watching. You know, when you were shooting in the gym by yourself. This is not ego, my illustrators. Evidence documents. So when discouragement tries to rewrite your history, you need more than a feeling. You need a record. Number two, decide your standard before the audience arrives. If the crowd chooses your standard, you'll keep changing yourself to preserve the crowd. Decide what excellent means before the numbers come in. Was the message honest? Did you serve the person you said you would serve? Did you finish? And that includes the review itself. Ask yourself what worked, what didn't work, and what will I change? But don't allow those questions to become, what does this prove about me as a person? Now, that question does not belong in the review. Applause may tell you the work connected. Silence may simply mean the packaging needs attention. But neither one gets to rule or the last say on your identity.
The mic drop.
Don't insult the years it took to become who you are by pretending a 10-minute ceremony created you. The applause did not build your discipline, and the title did not survive your rejection. The statue did not do the work. You did. It's okay to receive the flowers and to accept the award. Just never confuse the receipt with the purchase. Picture a empty glass display case in a museum. No trophy, no plaque, just a small card that reads, "The work is still being done." And most people will walk past it because we're trained to admire the finished symbol. But that empty case might represent the most important season of a person's life. It's where discipline gets formed. It's where you discover whether you love the craft or merely love being seen doing it. And that's dangerous, my illustrators. Think about the area of your life where you are still waiting for permission. Ask yourself, if that recognition never came, would the discipline still be honorable? Will the people you helped still be helped? Will the person you became through the process disappear? No. Recognition can reveal value to the world. It does not create the value inside of you. Let the statue stand if they build you one or give you one. Just don't let the statue tell you who you are. Do not let a platform, paycheck, possession, or person to prove your value. And it's okay if they recognize it. They may even reward it. They may even reflect it. And they may even remind you of it. But they must, and I repeat, must never become the source of it. A statue can commemorate your greatness, but it cannot manufacture it. This week, write down 3 pieces of evidence that your work has value before anybody rewards it. One skill you developed, one person that you helped, and one promise you kept when quitting would have been a lot easier. If this helped you see your own value from an unusual angle, share it with somebody doing excellent work in an empty room. And please remind them, being overlooked is not the same as being ordinary. The statue may carry your name, but it can never carry the weight of everything it took for you to become who you are. This has been Articulated Illustration. And always remember to keep the pen in your hand and keep illustrating your life. But do not let the statue define who you are. You keep pursuing greatness and become the person that you are meant to become, with or without a statue. And remember the words of Phife: I'll never let a statue tell me how nice I am. Until the next illustration, we'll talk later.